Welcome to another exciting episode of Leading Ladies of Real Estate. I'm here today with Michelle Chick. I'm your host, Valentina Parrott, and I'm the chair of Leading Ladies of Real Estate here in Victoria. We have the distinct pleasure of having Michelle Chick here, a trailblazer of a woman that has been in real estate for over 22 years. We're super excited to listen to her journey. Michelle, not only in 2017 opened up her real estate business of Ray White Werribee, but she also achieved an amazing status of Chairman's Elite that exact year. We welcome Michelle Chick. Michelle, welcome to our podcast today.
Thank you, Belle.
We're so excited to have you here. I feel very I'm honoured to have you here because I have worked with Michelle and I have seen what she's like with her clients. She's extremely warm. Everyone loves her. I call her the mayor of Werribee actually because she goes down the street and everyone knows you. So tell us, Michelle, thanks for coming on. Tell us a little bit about your journey
Well,
today.
thank you firstly for having me. I'm pretty excited about this, to be honest. I'm normally one that sort of doesn't really put themselves out in the crowd, but to have that spotlight, but I'm really pleased to. If I can help anyone, that's what I'm here for.
I love your journey. I've listened to it so many times, and that's why we really wanted to share your journey on this podcast today because I think it's very inspiring. It inspired me. I remember meeting you, and I was like, what a phenomenal woman you are. You have just a beautiful, warming character about you, and that's what everyone loves about you. But tell us what did you do? What did you do prior to real estate? How did you get into it?
So 22 years ago, Val, I was working as a preschool mothercraft nurse in Werribee at a childcare centre, and although I loved what I was doing, I couldn't quite achieve what I wanted to financially. So I always wanted to have a family and have good things for them, good schools, good holidays, and have a bit of lifestyle. But firstly, the most important thing at that sort of point in time was I didn't have enough money just in case something went wrong at home, if the hot water service actually broke down. How can I afford these things? So it was as simple as that. So I just needed to get out of my comfort zone and make a bit more money, which has led through to some great things.
Tell me a little bit more about that though, because did you have a young family at that stage?
Yes, so Alana was 2, my eldest was 2, and she's now 24, and I hadn't had Olivia at that point in time, and I just needed some money, a bit of extra money to stretch a little bit further.
Yeah.
So I was told that you can make some good money in real estate, and it was something that I was not at all used to doing. So I thought, let's just do it, just to be a bit more comfortable financially.
So did someone inspire you to go there, or was it by chance? How did you actually get to your first day of real estate?
Yes. Well, great question, because I had no intention at all.
Yeah.
But somebody in the industry who was quite good at what he was doing said to me, you would be great at real estate. And that's when I just ran with it. So I had Alana at home as a 2-year-old, and I did my course via correspondence. Right. I thought, let's just give it a try. I went for my first job interview, and they called me back for the second, and I stayed there for 12 years.
Oh my gosh, really?
And yeah. And then it just sort of went from there. I got my hands on a couple of mentors back then, and just grown from there.
So with your mentors, you said you had a couple of great ones. So come day one of real estate, you obviously didn't know what you were doing, had no idea what to expect. Who helped you with that?
Yes. I suppose I looked at, firstly, why I was doing it, what I wanted to achieve from being there. So that was the first thing that I did. But then myself was just not enough. So I reached out to Tonya Davidson, coach. She helped me immensely, helped me get structured, helped me set my goals, and many other things. So she was the first person that I reached out to from a mentor's perspective. And then I just went to as many teaching and training conferences as I possibly could. ARIC. Yes. I went to ARIC over and over and over, did some great reading, and just kept focused that way.
So with that, you did a lot of self-learning yourself.
Yes.
In the office, did you get that support? Did you get much support from people within? Were you able to, I guess, flourish that way? Because you did it all. It seems like you did a lot of self-learning by yourself.
Yes, I did. I got a lot of support in the office. They were a great office to start with. But for my growth to go further, I needed to really look into doing extra.
Yeah.
And a part of that extra was certainly reaching out to mentors and getting to different conferences, but more so is actually working out what is that I wanted to achieve every day. So I had my things that I would look at doing every day to keep me out there and achieving what I have.
Michelle, you've always gone on about your why. You've always said that. That has always stuck with me when you would talk to me about what my why was. I remember meeting at a cafe in Werribee, and you're like, Val, you just need to figure out your why and it'll all fall into place. Your why was clearly your family. Am I right?
Definitely my family, yes. As mentioned before, I never wanted to be in the position that if something went wrong, how could I afford to deal with it? So I wanted to be in a position where I had a bit of extra choice. So for me, my focus every day was my daily affirmations and my reason why. Wasn't unusual for me to be travelling around with my affirmations in the car, my goals written in the car, in my bathroom. I'd read them every day. I'd know for what reason I'm up and out and doing what I was doing because I had them very clear. And I came across a lot of my goals the other day, going back from 20 years ago, and they're very clear, and I've achieved pretty much all of those. And every 6 months I set my goals. So it's my affirmations every day, it's my goals. I need to know why.
Take me back to your early days. What did you do to get your name out there? As I said earlier, you are like the mayor of Werribee. Everyone knows that. You go down the street, you say hello to everybody. Everyone's like Michelle Chick. Or when I would even go in, do you know Michelle Chick? Of course, everyone knew Michelle Chick. But how did you get your name out there?
Yeah, look, I did a lot with the local schools. So with my children's schools, the primary school and secondary schools, I did as much as I could to help there by giving them some support and some donations and some of my time. I also had bus seats. So I had 12 bus seats scattered around Wyndham, where I'd have a lot of phone calls from the bus seats, and I still have people today. So that was a long time ago when I had those. And I still have people today say to me, Michelle, I remember you on the bus seats. Local paper, and even still today, a lot of letterbox drops. It's my face is in letterboxes all the time. Yeah, I look back and think about how did I actually get my brand, myself out there as quickly as I did. With a young family, it's not easy. You've got to juggle, obviously, your children, your family, your work, your everything. So we were out on a Sunday letterbox dropping with the pram, and we would do that every Sunday, letterbox drops every Sunday, no matter what. We would be out there with the kids. And I just made sure that we would certainly have that set for every Sunday. If we had something else on, then it would still get done in that weekend anyway. So a letterbox drop, a lot of that.
A lot of that. You always carry a list with you in the car. You always have your list of calls to make. That obviously was very much something that you've continued on from day one.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Where I found I did right, and I did so very, very well, is I always use my daytime for productive time. So of an evening, I would go home and do my admin. I would not waste my daytime hours doing admin. So I was always on the phone, constantly on the phone. If I'm out travelling around in the car now, I'm on the phone. If I'm in the office with my time to work, I'm on the phone. So my admin, when I first got started, was after hours. I'd get the kids to bed, bath, dinner time with the kids, then it was admin time. All right, so I'd never waste any time during the day in getting my day organised. So every evening I'd go into the next day, having organised my day for the next day, and that's what would happen. So it was phone call, it was driving buyers around, it was doing appraisals, and my admin would be later that night.
You'd take people in your car then, obviously, back then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'd pick them up from the train station, make sure my car was clean, and off I'd go. So I did whatever it took just to have a structured day. So very much I'd try and work out as clear as I could each day where I'd have as much structure as possible. It definitely was not sitting down looking at what can I do, where can I find that next listing. It was already organised. It was on paper and it was ready for that phone call for the next day. I would say at least 95% of my checklist would be complete.
Amazing.
I would aim not to go home until I was almost complete, or I would pull up down the road before I drove into the driveway and I'd make a last 5 or 10 phone calls just to feel good again, to drive into that driveway and go, you know what, I've done all I could today. So yeah, my day was definitely not spent in writing down what's going to happen for today. It's already organised.
And do you still do that to this day?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I do. So probably not quite to the level as when I first got started.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit different set up today.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm very highly disciplined. So if I set something in place to be done, I like to achieve it.
So going to your goals this year,
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, we've seen your career grow so much, and we will touch on obviously directorship, but tell me your goals for this year. And I guess your team. Talk about your team a little bit more.
My goals are set every 6 months. All right, so I set out for a goal I want to achieve for 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Then I break it down to 6 months, then 3 months. And then what can I do per day? I still think it's really important that I and those that want to achieve have their reasons why in front of them every day. I still do. That's why I say, I go back and I look back at what I've set in the past and I've achieved those items. And now I've just had to spend the last sort of 3 weeks working through what do I want to achieve for this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually wasn't all that easy because I've achieved a lot that I've wanted to achieve. But where I get such self-satisfaction is helping others. So for me, a big goal for me is to help the team. Mm-hmm. More than what we've done so far. All right, so it's I get such satisfaction in watching them grow, in watching them achieve. Example, one of the team members the other day called their third auction and, without choking, did a brilliant auction, called a great auction. Owners gave him cuddles, threw him up in the air, and, the confidence he achieved from that was just wonderful to watch. I get satisfaction from this now. So that's where my goals are very focused on now.
You obviously opened up Ray White Werribee 2017. How did you get to that point? You had to change your mindset into working in a business than to actually working for your own business.
Yes.
So why the change? What led you there to the 1st of February 2017,
mm-hmm.
It couldn't have been an overnight decision.
Yeah.
But how'd you get there?
I had 15 years of working for other people. Mm-hmm. 12 years with one brand and 3 with another brand. Although I was very appreciative of being able to work with them, there was just so much I wanted to be able to put into place that I could see could be done better. And though when you're working for someone else, there's only a certain amount of budget, etc., that can be spent to allow us to be able to do these things. So I wanted to make a change in the real estate industry, and I just knew it could be done if I was to be able to get started with the right people. So when I received a phone call from the then CEO, Dominic Belfiore, said, can we have a coffee? I said, no, I don't want to work with Ray White. I'm quite happy where I am. I've got my plans. Just give me time for a coffee and we'll go from there. He actually changed my thinking about how he could support me to achieve what I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And, took probably a year and a half of me to get my confidence to take that step to work with another brand. But once I did, we haven't looked back.
Yes.
So it's, 7 years ago I opened the office. There was 3 of us. There's now 33 of us and growing.
So you started with 3 people that day.
Yes.
1st of February, opened the doors, Ray White Werribee, literally in prime position, if you do know Werribee, Watton Street, next to the most busiest cafe. 3 people. How was that day for you?
I actually got off a plane that morning with my family from Florida. We'd spent 3 weeks in Florida at Disney World. Got off the plane, got home, showered, put a suit on, arrived in Watton Street to this magnificent photo of myself on the window, and thought, wow, this is actually happening. And, I think the key really overall is to make sure you put yourself around the people that you trust, that you know that are there to support you, that you feel confident with. And that's the only thing I've ever done right in my career. And that is just to find myself the right people, get myself around them, read books, listen to good podcasts, read my affirmations, know my goals, and have trust. And 7 years later, we've moved office 2.5 years ago. And I think what's most exciting about this is the service that we're giving back to the community. It's our focus is providing a wonderful service, and the team are wonderful to work with. So, it's all happening.
I've obviously seen you, been in the office with you, seen you grow. I mean, I started a year later, 2019, 2 years later, 2019, and there was a lot of change happening in that time. Lots of changes with you, personally, professionally, and seeing you thrive has been an amazing journey. But you also have had, as you said, you've had the right people around you. Do you want to dive into those people that have also helped you, how you got there?
Yeah.
And then after that, tell me also now about your own team. You have the Michelle Chick team. It's the Chicky team. Tell us a little bit more of that structure too.
Yeah. Going back when I first got started, not only for that financial reason, but was also to prove to myself that I can achieve what I put my mind to. And then having children and having girls, I really want to be able to teach them that, you're a girl, you're a woman, you can still achieve whatever it is you choose to. It all comes back to what's happening in your mind. So for me, biggest drive is women.
Yeah.
Is certainly young people, that if they're around the right people, they can achieve anything that they want to. And I get, again, so very excited where people achieve whatever it is that they put their mind to that they make this happen, and that just drives me enough. But to watch from my family perspective, my children go, wow, Mum, that's amazing. You're just doing it. It's just so exciting to watch. And they know they can achieve whatever they want to.
You've obviously had a lot of success. It's happened, it seems like it's happened super easily.
No.
But it's not.
No.
I've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there. I've seen you do this, and has there been days where you're like, I've had enough?
Absolutely.
And how do you actually overcome those days?
Those days are hard. Certainly has not come easy. Those days where you just can't give, but you still need to give. You're again comes back to why you're getting up and going out to the office to do what you do. You've got to know why. What's driving you to do that? There's been times, even before being a business owner, out on a Saturday where everyone's away. Here I go again, another open home. Again, knowing why am I doing this? I look back now and go, I'm so pleased I did, because I've got different choices now. But at the time, I felt alone. I felt, I'd leave an appraisal of an evening, maybe didn't list it, and feeling frustrated. I should have done some things differently, and I didn't. But wondering, why am I doing this? Getting home late, going, absolutely. So, you've got to give up things to achieve things. And for me, it was definitely a lot of time working as opposed to living.
Yes.
But now I've got choice to do some different things. And I've really proven to myself I can achieve what I want.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've also, with your daughters, you're just, we've spoken about earlier, you had gone on a holiday. That's probably not something you could have done back then, but now you can comfortably do that.
Yes, yeah. It's definitely a lot nice spending the last 3 weeks with them. So we had a week in New York, a couple of weeks in Canada, and we stayed in beautiful places. It wasn't done by, a tight budget. It was just done. And that quality time spent together every day was beautiful. So, I look back and I go, it's all worth it when you can have those times.
Yes. But at the time, you're probably like, oh, God.
Yes. Felt alone sometimes. Absolutely. I would drive down my street thinking, here I go again, another night or another long day. I missed that listing, or that sale fell through, or they want to add a condition on it, etc. You know, those frustrations you feel.
Yes.
But yeah, why is it you're doing it?
Yeah.
I'd go to my bathroom window and I'd read my reasons.
Your affirmations.
And I'd go, there you go, my mirror. That's why.
So you've got the Michelle Chick team, the Chicky team.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a bit more about that structure? How does that work? Because now you're gone from, we've heard your journey solo.
Yes.
Now you've got a team that support you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay. Yeah, so the way we're structured in my team now is that I have 2 to 3 people that work with me. All right, so the key is to teach them how to become their own independent agents within the business. The aim is to grow them to a point where they have enough confidence to move into the business.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, and they move across into the business as an independent agent when they feel that they've got the confidence to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's KPIs, etc., that we need to be sure are being achieved.
Yes.
What we don't want to happen is that they go into the business and they drown,
Yes.
and we lose them. All right, so initially we definitely employ on attitude and their reasons why. If they're matching for, our vision, then they'll start with us, they'll start with myself. And basically what happens is they'll come out to appointments with me and learn the business, learn the role of an independent agent. So what they're doing the day-to-day tasks to become an independent agent with my support.
Yes.
All right, so I'm overseeing whatever they're doing. They're managing properties with my support in the background, so that when they're becoming their independent agent within the office, they're not drowning.
Yes.
All right, so and as we're getting a little bit closer to an agent about to move through into the office as an independent agent, we employ another who will then work with me, and the process starts again.
Yeah, so it actually doesn't stop you from transactioning, really.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I keep doing what I'm doing. And a lot of my leads comes from, let's say, repeat business, referral business.
Yes.
All right, so we still have a lot going on that goes into the business.
Mm-hmm.
So the team learn, how do we take a listing from it's listed today through to a point of settlement?
Yes.
With my support in the background.
Yes.
It's sometimes it hasn't worked, of course.
Yeah.
So it really comes back to, the individual person that's with me,
Mm-hmm.
and what they want to achieve as well. And that might be better that they work with somebody else. So it just really comes back to personalities as well.
Yes.
But most often than not, the team members are moving through as independent agents, and they're doing really well.
Yeah.
And we love that process. We love that system.
Yes.
And everything is being worked through where the key is high level of service for our clientele.
I mean, I've been quite lucky to work with you and also to learn with you. And I know that the way you just get everyone in the car to listen to your phone calls and how you speak to your vendors, you're always on the phone. From the moment we get in the car to the moment you get out of the car.
Yes.
And then in front of, do you take them now to listings as well with you?
Depends on where they're at.
Okay.
All right, so we want to be able to teach depending on their level at that point in time. All right, so depending on what stage they're at will depend on whether they're coming out with me or not. So yes, they do get to that point. However, we want to teach one part of the business first, being how to work with buyers, and how to get the best offer from buyers, and how do we take a property from listing right through to point of sale with an auction. We want to do these items correctly first. Then the next part that we teach is teaching them how to list a property. All right, so that can take a little bit of time. What we don't want to do is overwhelm and scare people off.
Yes.
So just teach bit by bit by bit. Sometimes an agent can stay with me a little bit longer than what they would ideally like to do, but it's better for them in the long run. One thing I never like to do is waste time and an opportunity. So if it means that one of my team members can be learning a whole lot by being in the car with me going to an appointment, then that's what they'll do. They'll come with me and they'll be listening and learning. I might step in to do an appraisal depending on who it is and what it is and where they're at, will depend on whether they come in with me, but there's still stuff for them to do in the car as well, for us to all get to where we all want to get to.
Yep. It would have been quite a transition for you to actually add members to your own team. Was that a struggle for you? Do you think that you've been able to let go of those tasks? Because it is Michelle Chick. It's your reputation at the end of the day, and you're very hands-on and caring, and people always want you. How have you been able to, or if you have managed it, let go?
Yeah, that's the challenge, is letting go. However, my role is to teach them, so I have to let go. All right, so that's been really difficult for me. Probably the biggest part of the change in our business growing as quickly as it is me letting go.
Yeah.
So I have to let go. Every day I have to say to myself, let go. All right, step back and oversee. Make sure it's all working properly, but do not step in. All right, because it's not teaching the independent person, the individual, on what they should be doing. We teach what would you do first, and then we'll approve, yes or no, and then they'll do. But very difficult to let go. The way that we run ours is that we have our catch-ups every day. So whether it be a phone call or face-to-face, just depending on what's going on in the day. We have a very structured week in our office, as you know.
Yes.
There's a lot going on. So we have a stock meeting that discusses every property in our team every Tuesday. Separate to that, we have our one-on-ones with every individual team member.
Yeah.
All right, and how can I help you a little bit more? What are you struggling with this week? Where can we support you a bit more to help you overcome that challenge? So definitely there for them.
Yes.
Because the role is to help them.
Yes. Michelle, what's one thing you could have changed in your whole 22 years of real estate? If there is anything, there might not have been anything, but is there things that you could have gone, I could have done that maybe earlier, I could have done that better? Have you reflected on that as well?
Yes, definitely. What I could have done differently, I look back to my 22 years and still I kick myself today. Did so like as closely as yesterday, kicking myself again. Read more books.
Yep, read more books.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Read more books. I struggle with reading. I fall asleep. I'm a good sleeper. I love my sleep when I've stopped. I'm going to fall asleep. So, audibles work for me.
Yep.
I love them. Take notes. Put them into your phone, onto your iPhone under notes. Take those little snippets of what really works for you and pop them in there and look back at them.
Yep.
Read more books. Secondly, get around the right people. Don't try and do it yourself.
Yeah.
There's people out there who have done it before. And it depends on whatever you're looking for. If you're needing some mental health support, find the right person. If you're needing some health and physical support, find that person. If you're wanting to put together your own business, find the person who can help you get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to trying to work it all out yourself. Yeah, and I always had that brick wall up thinking my children were young. They were too young for me to open up my own business. I could have done it, absolutely. Knowing what I know now, had I got myself around the right people, but what I did too much was remain in my comfort zone.
We do that as women, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
Step out of it, get out of it, because I tell you what, you're going to get... I'm like 52 now. Oh my goodness. If I could go back and fast track things, oh my word, things would be different today. I'd be looking at things differently. It would be, although I'm very happy and so pleased that I've been able to achieve what I have with the support of all those people around me now, but I should have done that years ago.
Yeah. In your last 22 years of real estate, what is a really amazing memory that you have, or a funny memory that you have, or anything that you just go, oh my gosh, what a day?
Yeah, okay. Oh, look, probably a lot of things, but I think the greatest memory for me was my children coming home, my eldest coming home from school, and one of the friends from her school, said, "I saw your mum in the paper. She's the best." And my daughter said, "No way, it's only mum." And they were just, these little kiddies were just so excited. "Your mum's famous." And I just thought that was gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
For a child to come back and say that, and my children just thought, "Well, it's nothing. What are you talking about?"
Mum.
But that to me was just like, wow.
You're looked up to.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
nothing amazing, but just enough for my children to go, "Wow, maybe mum's all right."
Yeah, maybe mum's a superstar.
Yeah, maybe she's
Yeah.
all right. But I think the biggest thing was getting off the plane from Florida, an hour later in Watton Street, Werribee, opening the office.
With your face everywhere. I remember that campaign.
Yeah, and looking back and going, we've just had 3 amazing weeks at Disney World, and here we are opening up the new office, and looking back going, you know what, you can achieve. You can do it. Just step by step, break it all down. Every 3 months, what's the next thing you need to achieve?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll get to anything. You'll get to wherever you want to take your life.
Tell me about your affirmations, if you'd like to share at least one of them. Do you remember, like, obviously you see them all the time.
Yes.
What's one of them that really resonates with you?
Yeah. It's really simple, really, but effective. One of my affirmations is, "I can achieve anything I put my mind to."
Love
That
it.
is it.
Simple.
Very simple. And I know, so many people just don't believe in affirmations. For me, they've worked.
Mm-hmm.
From the moment I have, I suppose, had children, and before there, I've always woken up with positive affirmations, and really all over my home is positive affirmations. My children are sick of receiving calendars with positive affirmations, right? They're everywhere. However, so very important.
Yeah.
But for me, simply, that's that one. I can achieve anything I put my mind to.
Yeah.
And then under that is, what am I looking to achieve these next 3, 6, 12 months?
Yeah.
So I know why I get up every morning to go to work.
As we know, real estate is a hard job. Not hard, but it does take a lot of time away from loved ones. And we see that there's more now, more females in the industry. But I think a lot of the females that do come into the industry are either 20 to 30s, or you get them really after they've had children.
Yes.
Right? Well and truly once they've actually grown up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of a, I guess, there's not as many in that bracket where it's like they want to start a family because they think it might be too hard.
Yes.
You did it with an under 2-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and then also had your second one as you were in that middle transition.
Yes.
What are the tips that you can give like young females in that age bracket, because you've done it?
Mm.
Give us a bit of tips on that, because I look at myself, I'm like, I'm looking to have a family. Is this the right time to get back into selling?
Alana, my oldest, was 2 at the time when I got started. And then around about 3 years in, I had Olivia. And when she was 6 weeks, I went back to work.
6
She was
weeks,
6
wow.
weeks, yes, she was 6 weeks. I went back to work. Needed to get started again back at work, and needed a bit more money coming in. So to me, it was, again, coming back to the reason why and what I wanted to achieve. But from home, we had a very good support base at home. So with my mother-in-law, she helped us out a lot. My parents helped us out a lot, and good friends. So it was all, again, a matter of just putting yourself around the right people.
It was like a village.
Yeah, and being organised. Being organised. So I know a lot of the team from our office, being such a big office, they actually may go home for dinner and spend some time at home, then step back out later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they're still having that time. They might bath the kids and then step back out, depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
So a matter of just having an organised week, get your food delivered home, maybe, you get somebody in to do a little bit of cooking for you.
Yes.
Just a matter of being organised, whether it be childcare or support from home. But, getting the kids involved.
Yes.
So with real estate, it's a lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
particularly if you want to make something of yourself and create good things, get the kids involved with you.
Yeah.
Take them with you.
You took them to opens?
I did. I took them to different places, wherever I needed to.
Auctions?
Just come along, and it's great for them.
Yeah.
It's great because they get to meet people.
Yes.
They'll get involved with doing the litter box drops, as I mentioned before, and different things like that. But they'll see mum at work and around different people. They'll come to the office, and they did come to the office when they were younger, and they'd sit up with their colouring books or whatever was needed to be done just to get through the day. I look back now, and I can't remember any particular times that were overly hard. It was probably hard at the time, but obviously it wasn't all that hard if I don't remember them.
Yes.
But being able to have some wonderful holidays and good school and, nice home, etc. Being able to support the kids if needed, wherever needed, that's far outweighs everything.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle. This has been an amazing journey. I know that a lot of young females, but not only young females, people that listen to the podcast are going to get so many valuable words of wisdom that you've had. Is there any last words you want to share with us? Anything at all?
Firstly, thanks for the opportunity, and I hope I've been able to help anyone that's been listening in some way, shape or form. But if anybody wants to reach out for a coffee, I'd love to have a coffee with them.
Yeah.
And, coffee and a chat, and if there's any support they need, I'm here to help.
Michelle, you've been absolutely fantastic. You're a shining light. We're so lucky to have had your journey, and I think that this is just the start of the next phase for Michelle Chick, and I cannot wait to have you sitting down with me in a year's time to see where you're at, if your affirmations have stayed the same or your goals. But again, thank you so much. We've loved having you part of this, and I can't wait to see where to next for Michelle Chick.
Thank you, Belle. Thanks, everyone.